What is up, everyone? Guys, listen up. In today's video, we are going to be breaking down the endgame activity, the ritual, in depth. We're going to cover everything, starting from the basic information. Then we're also going to cover how you can summon the boss, receive the points in order to upgrade your Atlas tree for the ritual activity as well. If you guys do find this helpful, and only if you do, slap a like, sub to the channel. Now let's start with the basics. What is a ritual and how you find it on the maps? As you're going to be playing through the maps, you will find this symbol right here, the ritual. Obviously, this dude with horns, you find this, you're good to go. Now, as you see right here, the ritual can be on a map with other activities as well. So for example, here we also have breach and delirium, and the map is also irradiated, right? However, the ritual itself on the map will have 3 or 4 altars you have to complete. Now let's take a look at how those altars look. Once you're playing through the map, you're gonna find contaminated ritual altars. You gotta start this ritual up, and once you complete them, you're gonna see what's in the loot pool for you. So first, let's quickly do that, and I'm gonna explain how the loot pool works, how you defer items, how you make them cheaper, and so on. So as you start the ritual, there's gonna be enemies that spawn in, right? You're gonna kill all of these enemies as fast as you can. They're all dead. Boom. Good to go. That was pretty easy, right? So now we're gonna click on the contaminated ritual rewards. Now, once you first unlock the ritual and take a look at the loot, you'll see that we can't even see what we're picking up here. As we complete more rituals, currently we're 1 out of 4. As we complete 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4, you're going to be able to see all of the items in your loot pool. And of course, you're also going to increase your tribute points. And those are the points you're going to be using to either reroll everything, which we're going to go over, or purchase any of the items that you need. But even before we can actually visually see everything here, I'm going to give you guys one tip in order to spot the main item that we're going to be looking for in the ritual activity, and that is the audience with the king. Now, that item is essentially a key to fight the boss of the ritual. Now, if you're thinking, Pip, why do I want to fight that boss? Well, every time you kill that boss, you are going to get 2 points that you can spend on the Atlas tree and upgrade it for your ritual activity, which then makes it harder, but at the same time rewards you more. So in order to spot this item right away, all you got to do is look at the top left corner here, and instead of the 6 slots or 6 squares, should I say, that is taken right now, you will see an item that only takes 1 square, once again in the top left. Usually if you see that item there, that means that the audience with the king is gonna show up as you complete the other rituals. And in this case, since we know that it's not here as we go through all the rituals, we might have to re-roll this and then try to get lucky and get the audience with the king over here. And then we're going to talk about the rest. Okay, the third one complete. Let's take a look at it. Now you guys see that we've unlocked everything here. And as mentioned, the top left turned into a chest piece here that was taking up 6 slots, 6 squares once again, right? So that is something to keep in mind. Once you see that there's a big item there, most likely it's not going to be something that you're looking for, right? Now, we can re-roll this for 820 tribute and hope that we get the audience of the king. So let's try and do that right now. Boom. Right now, you guys see that we still didn't get the item here. Now, let's say that we had gotten the audience with the king. First thing you need to know is that it's going to cost 4,000 favor. So you might be thinking, Pip, we only have 564 left. If it was here and it was 4,000 favor, we wouldn't be able to buy it anyway, right? And yes, that is correct. However, that is when you can defer an item. Pay 15% of an item's original cost to defer that item. This item will reappear in a later area discounted by 10% of its original cost. More valuable items can take longer to reappear. So as we would take the audience with the king, defer the item, the cost would drop by 10%. In this case, that would be 400 points. So it would be sitting at 3,600 points. However, there is like a tax that we pay for deferring essentially. So you are going to need more points than just 400. Now, next time that we do a ritual on a new map, not on this map, on a new map, there is a possibility that once I walk up to a ritual, I unlock it. And if I see the audience with the king, it is going to be the one that I deferred, which means that next time I find it, it could be 3,600 points. And you just keep deferring it on and on and on until it comes down to the price. And then in the future, you will finally have enough points to buy the deferred audience with the king on one of the upcoming maps. However, my friend Dream runs rituals all the time, and what he ran into, he wasn't necessarily finding the audience of the king that was already deferred, but another one, a fresh one. So at the same time, he was deferring 3 different audiences with the king, which means that, one time you go in, you find one that is at 4,000 points, you defer it all the way down to 3,600, but on the next map, you find another one, a fresh one at 4,000, right? So you defer that one again. You keep deferring them, and eventually you're going to buy both of them, and you're going to have 2 audiences with the king, which essentially means you're going to have 2 times chance to fight the main boss. Now, the best case scenario here for the ritual is that you start up the map, you find your first ritual, and you get the audience with the king right away, because that way you don't have to waste your points on rerolling, which is a lot of points. That can make a huge difference in a run. However, that said, getting 4,000 points to buy it directly, even if you find the audience with the king, is almost impossible unless you have the ritual atlas tree already upgraded and you're getting a huge density of enemies, because at the end of the day, that's what it depends on, right? Getting more points for the ritual activity depends on the rarity and amount of enemies spawning after you press the ritual, right? So when you press this, if there's small enemies popping up, it's really not going to do much for you. You want like the rares, the magics, and a lot of them. That is precisely why you want to fight that boss, in order to get the Atlas skill trees, right? To make this harder, to have more enemies spawn in. Now, when it comes to the Atlas tree, I'm going to quickly tell you guys the strategy that I would use if I'm getting the points. Let's say you get the audience with the king, you kill the boss one time. I would pick up this tree right here. Ominous Portents, ritual altars in your map spawn monsters 25% faster. Ritual favors in your maps have 50% increased chance to contain omens. But this is not the main reason. On the next kill of the boss, we're going to be going for He Approaches. Revives monsters from ritual altars in your maps have 20% increased chance to be magic and to be rare. And the reason, as mentioned, this is very good is because every ritual now, every ritual fight, should I say, will be giving us more points. So when we finish all of them, we're going to have a few thousand points here, which is then going to make it easier to purchase the audience with the king. However, on this one, it also says ritual favors in your maps have 50% increased chance to contain an audience with the king. So this means that we're not only are we going to be getting more points per clearing the ritual, but we're also going to have a 50% increased chance to contain the audience with the king, which just makes it perfect if the goal is to farm the boss at all times and get more points and make the ritual better and better with time. And another reason to want to fight that boss is that he drops the Ingenuity belt, one of the most important items currently in the game that will make your builds so much better. Even if you don't want to use it, these belts sell for a lot of divine, so you're not going to be wasting your time regardless. Now, the best way to find a lot of ritual events on the map is to use the Precursor Tablet. For example, this Precursor Tablet is specifically for the ritual event. It states 6 maps in range contain ritual altars. And the reason this is so good is that, let's say we complete this tower right here, then I can use that tablet on this tower. That would mean that 6 maps around it will now have the ritual event, which makes it much easier for you guys to farm them if you're trying to get to the boss as fast as possible. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, slap like, sub to the channel. I'm going to be uploading more guides for different kinds of activities as well. As always, thank you so much for all the love and support. Stay positive, stay disciplined, and I'll see you all on the next one.